Now, on the phone is CNN commentator LZ Granderson and live in studio CNN political commentator Ben Ferguson. So, LZ, I want to begin with you because I know that you have written that you are not anti-gun. You have a gun in your own home. So tell me why teachers shouldn't be armed.
I can certainly appreciate the conversation in terms of wanting to do all that we can to protect our students. And as a father of a young man in the city in Chicago, I definitely want us to do all we can to protect kids. But with that being said, I don't believe we have done all that we can to protect kids yet. I see arming teachers as the second to the last resort in terms of keeping kids safe in school. I would like to see more police officers around campus. I would like to see perhaps some security within the schools before teachers, because teachers have enough going on. We're looking at a situation now in which a man has been shot at 15 times by police officers who are trained to handle crisis situations. A man who was without a weapon and in his own driveway, shot at 15 times. So you're telling me now a teacher who's actually trained in something else is going to be able to differentiate friend from foe in a crisis situation with a gun? I don't think that's fair with the teachers, and I don't think that's really respect what police officers and security guards are supposed to do.
Ben, I want to get to you, but as I was sitting here thinking about this, I wondered what teachers were thinking. And so there was something I found from the American Federation of Teachers. This was just about a week after Newtown. This is what they're quoted as saying: schools must be safe sanctuaries, not armed fortresses. Anyone who would suggest otherwise doesn't understand that our public schools must first and foremost be places where teachers can safely educate and nurture our students. What do you think?
I agree that there should be safe places, but I also know that we've tried the gun-free zone policy, and every one of these schools where we see these shootings and massacres are gun-free zones. We tried the let's all just play by the rules, but as soon as someone walks onto this campus and decides to break that rule, everyone's life is at risk in these schools, even at the hands of a 14-year-old that we've seen now in the last 24 hours. And I don't want every school teacher to be armed. I want to make that very clear, because some people imply that if you're in favor of arming teachers, you want to mandate it. I do not want to mandate it. I think there are certain people in every school that actually are willing to go through extensive training. Many people that teach in schools come from backgrounds in law enforcement and also in military. And those are the first people that I would be interested in. My sister, she teaches in an inner city school. They've had multiple lockdowns in her career. And the problem is, as soon as one person doesn't play by these rules, all of their lives at risk. And we see teachers every time. We see the heroes come out of these situations where we hear about teachers literally using their bodies as a human shield.
The math teacher earlier this week who was approaching the 12-year-old.
Yeah. And that's my point is, if that guy's willing to use his own body as a human shield, I trust him if he wants to go through extensive training to carry a gun. I trust him to be able to figure out in a crisis situation friend from foe, because he did it then. We saw the same thing in Littleton. We saw the same thing in Newtown. We see it every time where these teachers, they know who the shooter is, and they take bullets to save kids' lives. And I think it's time for us to look at the reality that these gun-free zones, it is only as good as the paper and the sign it's on until someone decides to break that rule.
Our nation is so split on this, but I hear both of your sides, and it's just saddening to have to report on these in 2 days this week. LZ and Ben, thank you both very much.